The Latina lesbian community is a community that has been politically involved in trying to change the world and create social justice.
It's about saying, what are we doing in our individual communities? What are we doing for the marginalized groups?
This has always been part of the coalitions that have formed around trying to link LGBTQ and immigration issues.
When I came out as queer, like I knew that I was facing all these stereotypes and conversations that I had to have with my parents and people who were going to hate me. And then understanding that being undocumented was very similar. Young people who are part of the LGBT community now tell me a very similar story, where I've asked them, you know, aren't you scared of saying that you're undocumented? And how do you feel about it? Are you ready to face some of the consequences, right? And a lot of people who are already out as queer tell me, you know what, like I've already gone through that. I already know what it feels like for people to not like me because of who I am, and so why not just take this extra step? We had been organizing Dyke March in the same neighborhood of Andersonville for years, and we walked and listened to music, and it was great and pretty, and people waved.
A lot of folks in the LGBTQ community really started to be open and honest about the fact that the march in Andersonville wasn't really accessible to them.
This wasn't the only community in Chicago that had lesbians. There were a lot of other communities, and that the march should be taken to some of these other communities.
We decided to move it first to Pilsen because actually a lot of us who were at the table were Latinas and identified with the Pilsen and Little Village community.
It was very successful. It brought together over 1,000 people. It was one of the largest Dyke marches that I've ever been to.
Although folks might believe our community to be, you know, homophobic, really Catholic, having deep-seated fears. But as a Latina in that community, I don't feel it. I'm really proud to say that I am confident and comfortable to walk as an out lesbian, Dyke, queer woman in the Latino communities in Chicago.
Every 2 years, the march will go to a different community.
Right now, Chicago Dyke March is in its second year in the South Shore community. And our next move, we're really hoping, is to move into an Asian American community. We're not just going to come in and march, but we're going to come in and reach out to community members. We're going to reach out to organizations and really build that solidarity across the city.